let's go attack the left a little bit. What the hell? So we haven't talked about American universities in a while, and there seem to be fewer sit-ins and tent-ins and so on. But the radical, crazy left has not given up, and they are committed to continuing their anti-Semitic attacks on Israel and Jews more broadly. And they're doing it the way they know best how to do it, which is through the curriculum. The way they have created, if you will, the way they've created the way they've created the world in which we live, where you have these insane students, really. I mean, insane is too nice. Where you have these completely irrational students advocating for suicidal, irrational, ugly, homicidal ideas. It's through the curriculum. It's through the ideas. It's through the philosophy. It's through what they have taught them. So they are doubling up on that, and they're making it a little bit more explicit maybe than it used to be. So if before you had to get to the evil of Israel and Jews through intersectionality and identitarianism and all of that, now let's just teach it straight out. I mean, let's not imply it. So a couple of courses. One, I don't think one has been withdrawn because it's so obviously disgusting, and the other one has not been withdrawn. This one that's not being withdrawn is at Columbia University. And if you read the description, it's quite reasonable. So this is a special course. It's in the poli-sci, politics and society. It's Palestinian and Israeli politics and society. That's the name of the course. That sounds very good, right? And then you've got, and even the course description is pretty good. It's the history of the Jewish Enlightenment in the 19th century Europe and the development of Zionism through the current peace process between the State of Israel and the Arab states and Palestinian national movement. It provides a historical overview of the Zionist-Palestinian conflict to familiarize undergraduates with the background of the current situation. Wow. I mean, that sounds like a good course. I would take that course, right? But then you look at who's teaching it. It's being taught by Professor Joseph Massad, a professor who has called October 7th, and I'm quoting, awesome and stunning. Stunning in a good way, not a bad way. So while the course description is going to pass Columbia's criteria, I'm sure, they're going to look at this, and whoever approves curriculum going to say, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds very reasonable. Sounds very balanced. Very balanced. But then you look at who the professor is, you know how this is going to be awful. Now, at Berkeley, there was a class in English composition. It's called English Composition in Connection with Reading of World Literature. That's a pretty, I don't know, how can anybody be opposed to English composition in connection with reading of world literature? And the theme, the specific title was Leninism and Anarchism, a theoretical approach to literature and film. Okay, I can probably see legitimacy in a course like that. Not completely nuts. Maybe it's going to be a little communist, but yeah, I mean, there's something to say about communism and anarchism, why Leninism particularly. But anyway, theoretical approach to literature and film. I have a feeling this is a big, major BS class. But here's the course description. Now, the course description was written, it turns out, by a couple of graduate students who didn't have kind of the political acumen to not say what they actually thought. This is the title. This is Leninism and Anarchism, a theoretical approach to literature and film. Course title. With the US-backed and funded genocide being carried out against indigenous Palestinians by the Israeli occupying forces, many have found it difficult to envision a reality beyond the one we are living in today. At the same time, we have also seen a rise in global socialist, and in particular Leninist movements that are actively combating this destructive imperial agenda. From Hamas revolutionary resistance forces combating settler colonialism to a continuous anti-imperialist politics by Cuba, Vietnam, Venezuela, China, and the DPRK, that's North Korea, I think, and various indigenous and First Nation peoples around America. Anyway, so now, once the university realized that that was the description, they took it off. Now, the course might still be taught with a different description, but now the course has no description. The description just disappeared. So in other words, here is the idea. Leninism are the good guys. The Leninists are the good guys, not Stalinists. This is the more moderate form of homicidal, mass slaughter, mass murder, communism. Leninism are the good guys, and the good guys are manifest in Hamas and in Cuba, Vietnam, Venezuela, China, and North Korea. They're the good guys. And this class, you're going to study, I guess, how this is related to world literature in film, literature and film, and how the bad guys, who are the bad guys? America and Israel. Broadly speaking, the West. This is, you know, if you're going to Berkeley to study anything but STEM, this is the kind of garbage you're going to encounter. Just as part of kind of the general anti-Semitism, you know, it's certainly in these courses in Berkeley and in Columbia, but of course this manifests itself into people's adulthood. And we saw a Hamas protest, pro-Hamas protest, marching through an ultra-Orthodox community in New York, basically threatening anybody who stepped out of their home. I think that was yesterday, or maybe it was Monday. And in Berlin, basically the police have told, I mean, just think about this. Let this sink in a little bit. In Berlin, the police have told Jewish and gay people to hide their identity in certain Arab neighborhoods. In other words, the police cannot protect Berlin citizens, residents, from violence in certain Arab neighborhoods. It really is kind of unbelievable. And they say so. This is something that the Berlin chief of police said. Yeah, don't go into those neighborhoods. If you do, take off your yarmulke, take off your any symbolism that you might be Jewish or gay. I think the police should encourage gays and Jews to go into these neighborhoods. They should monitor it carefully. And anybody who inflicts violence against those gays or Jews should be immediately arrested and put on a plane and parachuted, I don't know, into Damascus maybe Kabul. I mean, that's what they should do, right? They should tell the people who are violating rights to stay home or ship them. No, into Gaza, it just complicates things in Gaza. You don't want to ship them to Gaza. We want fewer people in Gaza, not more people in Gaza. Do you know, by the way, just an interesting stat. It's just an interesting stat. Do you know that there are more people in Gaza now than there were when the war started? Like, since October 7th, more babies are being born in Gaza than people Israel has killed. This is, I have to admit, by every measure, by every standard, what's happening in Gaza is the worst attempt at genocide in all of history. I mean, the Israelis are unbelievably incompetent. I mean, the population is literally growing while they're at war with it, which is just, something is very wrong with the whole attitude. Yeah, I think Jews and gays should be used as bait to decide who gets to stay in Germany and who doesn't. We can export this strategy all over Europe. We can do it in certain towns and neighborhoods in England as well. Use gays and Jews as bait. Actually, we should have undercover policemen dressed up with yarmulkes and holding hands, male policemen, or maybe female policemen, holding hands, walking down the street in order to see who attacks them. And then those people arrested immediately and sent to Kabul. Kabul is good. Kabul is not near anywhere. More people in Kabul really doesn't hurt any of us. So Kabul, I'm settled on this. The nation should be Kabul. I mean, there you go. This should be the largest sting operation in European history. Yeah, exactly. I mean, David says use Ben Shapiro's bait. No, but the thing is, you don't have to use Ben Shapiro's bait. You just have to dress up like Ben Shapiro. Like, get all these policemen to dress up like Ben Shapiro, go into the neighborhoods, and do it. Right? Yeah. That should be the European strategy. Because not all Arabs are bad. Not all Arabs would attack Jews and gay people. Those who would, those who do, should be deported immediately without any questions asked. And all very easy to document.